Hey y'all, happy Thanksgiving. Today's the day I'm making my dressing and I'm gonna show you how to do it. Sweet Hunter's outside deep frying turkey, so I hope to get a video of him doing some of that. But today I'm gonna show you how I make my dressing. So I can't give you measurements, but I can tell you what I've done. Over the last few weeks, I've saved cornbread, bread, and crackers, and I froze it. And then I'm just gonna mix all this together in a big pan. We're sharing it with our family today. They're bringing all the sides, and we're doing the turkey dressing and the ham, and we'll put it on the porch, and they'll do a porch pickup and leave us the sides. We're very excited about it. And although we can't be together in this year of 2020, we will be together. We'll just be eating in our own homes to be safe. So I'm just stirring up the cornbread. I do like let's see, how would you say this? 3 parts cornbread to 1 part bread and 1 part crackers. I always like to add some saltine crackers. I'm gonna stir this up. This is actually my mom's recipe, if I didn't tell you. I used to call her every Thanksgiving to ask her how to do this. So what this is gonna take is some chicken broth, some cream of chicken soup, sage, salt and pepper, and eggs. And I'll put it together and I'll put it in all our different pans where the family can take it home with them. And it'll be delicious. So over here in the crock pot, I just took some boneless chicken and covered it with water and cooked it overnight to get some good homemade broth. And I'll take the chicken out, I'll shred it, put it in the freezer for barbecue later on. And then I have broth to add to this. So the first thing I'm gonna do is add my homemade broth. I've strained the fat off that, and I'll just pour it in here. Now this bread soaks up the broth. As you can see, it's already soaked it up. That's why I need lots of broth. And then I'll just stir that up, and then I'll add some more. So I'm gonna add some more broth. Now my family, a lot of them don't like onions, but if you don't tell them these are in it, they'll never know. And Sweet Hunter especially. And I love to put onions in it. Some people put celery. You can do whatever you want to do to make it yours. Now I've put all my broth in, and I've got my cream of chicken soup ready to put in, but I'm gonna get my eggs ready first. Now I have about 10 eggs that I'm probably gonna use 8. I'll know more when I get them in here. But I crack them and beat them before I put it in. Your dressing. My cornbread that I used, I have a video on it if you'd like to go check it out. It's my best friend Vicky's cornbread, and it is delicious, and it makes this dressing great. My kids love my dressing. I make a wet dressing. It's not a dry dressing. Well, let's pray it's not a dry dressing. And they love that, so it's always a tradition that I usually make the whole meal with a little help. This time they're doing a lot and I'm doing a little, but I always do the dressing. Except the year I was sick and my daughter, I walked her through it and she did it for me. So let's add these to the dressing. And we may need more, we'll see after we get it going. And I'm just gonna stir this up. I mix everything really, really good. You don't wanna be in a hurry doing the dressing because you want it to soak up that liquid. Now, most of my cornbread and bread, I just, before I froze it, I would crush it in the food processor. Now, we had some this week that I just left sitting out, and you can see those chunks there. That won't hurt a thing. Just makes it good. Now, I can just tell from experience that mine's good right now. But I'm thinking by the time I add the cream of chicken soup, it might need a few more crackers or some bread. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my soup, and that is a little trick of my mom's. And this is a big bowl and several pans of cornbread and bread and rolls and biscuits and crackers. So I'm gonna add one big can, and then I'll have these two little ones if I need more. So I'm just gonna add a few more crushed crackers. Saltine crackers is all I'm doing. And if you want a dry dressing, make this dry. If you want a wet dressing, make it wet. I'm making a wet dressing, but I do see that I do need a few more crackers or something. So I've added my cream of chicken soup except for the small cans, and I'm gonna do that now. Let me get a spoon. To me, this is my mom's trick, is the cream of chicken soup. I think it just adds so much to it. But you do you. You can make it without the cream of chicken soup and just use broth, and that is fine. Everything you add, make sure and stir it good after you add it. Only thing I've added that is, well, it's not a spice, I've added the dried onions, and I will taste of this and see what I think if it needs more. So just stir it after everything you add. Stir it really, really good. I'm sure there's a lot of dressing recipes out there, but this is my mom's, and I've always used it, and my kids love it. So I did end up using all 10 eggs. If you're making a small pan, just start with a couple. This is gonna be several good-sized pans that I'm making. Now, if the family was getting to come over, I would make one huge pan out of this. And I'm just gonna stir this eggs really good in it. The eggs is what binds this together. So it's very important. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is salt and pepper, and you do this to taste. I'm just gonna start out with a certain amount, and then I'll taste it in a few minutes when I get the sage in and see how much more it needs. Remember to stir after everything you do. So important. Now here is where a lot of people disagree. I use a lot of sage, but I make a big container. And the only way I know how to see if it's enough is to taste it. Now, many won't agree with me tasting it with the raw eggs in there, and that's fine. You do you. Let me get this open. So I just sprinkle a lot of sage. I'll probably use most of this to start with. And always make sure your sage is fresh. You don't want to use any old sage that's been sitting on the shelf. I knew because of the pandemic that there was going to be a shortage on that, and they say you cannot find sage anywhere. So I ordered mine about a month ahead of time, and it's never been opened, so it is fine. And I ordered 3 containers of it, of those little things. Sage goes a long way, but when you make a big bowl like this, it takes a lot. So I've got the main ingredients in. I've got the cornbread, the bread. I always use some crackers, some saltine crackers. And I think I told you like a 4 parts cornbread to 3 parts bread to 1 part cracker. I think that's kinda, I'm just giving you an estimate. But like I say, most people are not gonna be making a big amount like this. Okay, I'm gonna taste it now and see what it tastes like. Now I have my oven preheating at 400. That's really, really good. but it does need some more sage. I'm gonna end up using this whole thing. And I'll just stir this in real good, and then I will taste it again. Okay, I've got my dressing in the bowl ready. I'm gonna dish this out into 4 big pans and a couple of small pans because we're sharing this with our family. So I'm gonna start dipping it. Now I have sprayed this lightly, the pans. You really don't have to do that, but I did it because these are disposable pans. They will stick easier than the other. Okay, y'all, I've got 4 big pans of dressing that I've took out of the oven, and I've got 2 little ones, and I've got 4 more in the oven. So I made some little ones for grandmas that are shut in, that my son-in-laws, they always take food to them. Here's our meal, our part of the meal, Thanksgiving 2020. We did a ham. I just did it in a roaster. And we've got 2 deep fried turkeys. Sweet Hunter did that. I've got 4 big pans of dressing, and I'm gonna have about 6 of those little pans for people that can't get out, that my children will drop off on the porch. So my kids are doing all the sides, and we're doing a porch pickup and drop off 2020. Oh, and by the way, if you want to see how to deep fry a turkey, Sweet Hunter did a video on that, and we'll be getting that on pretty soon, if it's not already on. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And y'all go cook something.